Hey guys, so I wanted to do a follow-up video about the emotional immaturity in relationships. Because I wanted to make sure that I pointed out, it takes two to be in an emotionally immature relationship, and as I look back on specifically the few friendships that I have let go of over the last year. I think that there's a few things that's helping me to overcome my own emotional immaturity in those relationships. Because I think back, why did I stick it out? Why did I keep trying? And there's a few different things. The first one is fear. It's fear. It's the fear, again, of really, what happens if I really value myself? What happens if I really believe that I deserve something better and I get out there and it's not there? So a lot of it has been for me, for example, because I was just talking to a new girlfriend about this just yesterday, that so much of the reason why I have stayed in those kinds of relationships has been because it's been so safe. It's been so safe to do that. It's something I'm so accustomed to, and I just, there's a comfort in knowing the level of drama or the level of toxicity that's in certain relationships, that you're just used to, you know what to expect, what it feels like, and that's it, but thank God for that gut that we have in us that keeps telling us and whispering to us, this isn't okay. I deserve more. I deserve better friendships. I deserve better relationships. Please get out of this, So that's where I was being emotionally immature, was the whole being afraid or holding on to the safety of being in that relationship because I'm used to it. The other thing too, I would say that where I created that emotional immature, or why I stuck it out with emotionally in some emotionally immature relationships, is also fear. Just fear of not knowing how I was going to meet new people. Fear of not knowing if there were going to be anybody else that I would be able to click with, who would be what I want, fear that I would get out there and I would meet those kinds of people and then I'd get rejected, and it's understandable because, I think that, the way we're naturally built with our brains and our hearts and such is that they want to protect us. They want to protect us from getting hurt, and so that's why we stay in, ironically, in unsafe relationships or unhealthy relationships because, because at least, again, we're familiar and we know the game. We know how to play it, And so, but getting out there and doing something new is so scary, and stuff. And, so and the other thing too that kept me emotionally immature or kept me in emotionally immature relationships and has kept me emotionally immature too is just is not valuing myself enough, and not valuing myself enough, meaning that I don't love myself enough. And it's also too of not staying really clear on what I want, I mean, whenever we are in a relationship and it's this isn't, and your gut tells you this isn't really what you want. But we hold on to it. The reason why is a lot of times is because we're afraid to really admit what we want. We're really afraid to admit what we need. And we have to give ourselves grace on that. I mean, come on, we grew up with untreated borderline BPD moms. I mean, it was so ingrained in us to never ask for really what we wanted because we were so used to not getting it. we were so used to saying, either being taught that we didn't deserve it, well, that stuff doesn't happen to people, like us. We also watched a mother who didn't get what she wanted, or what she did get was stuff that we didn't want, which is, my eyes driving me nuts. But it's that, abandonment kind of stuff, and that, like, I need you to be dependent on me and things like that. So anyway, yeah. And so, of course, when we are trying to, break out of this stuff, like, we have to make some major changes, or not major, but they gotta be significant changes, So for me, what I'm learning is a couple of things that I'm going to do moving forward. One is, I really want to focus every day, and this is what I'm doing every morning, is focusing every morning on, what do I want? What do I want? What kind of friendships do I want? Who are those kinds of people? What are those kinds of relationships look like? What would I feel like when I'm in those relationships? The other thing that I'm doing too is, while I may be feeling emotionally immature, or while I'm struggling with maybe my relationships, is to focus on strengthening other areas of my life. So one of the big things I'm doing right now is really focusing in on my physical health. I am thrilled out of my mind that I've actually been going to the gym now for 3 weeks, 4 times a week. And I love it. I've never loved the gym before, ever. But what I love is not necessarily the gym. And it's not, pumping, doing, lifting weights until the point where I, like, even today was like grunting loudly to get through them. It was kind of a rough morning in the gym, but I still made it. But what I'm loving is feeling strong. I'm loving the idea of strengthening myself, on a physical level. I love feeling how my body feels when I do that. And because of that, I'm really able to, because I'm able to do that, like, it's helping me be inspired to strengthen myself emotionally, and to believe in myself, and, on that relational level, and to say, like, I can, I deserve the kind of, friendships, the kind of, a man in my life that is going to accept me for who I am, because I know who I am. I know who I am, and I'm never going to compromise that again for anyone. And if anyone is asking me to, I don't want them in my chosen family. I don't want them in my inner circle, And so anyway, so I think that when we strengthen other areas of our lives, the relational aspect of us, the emotional aspect of us, also gets strengthened too, indirectly. And sometimes that's just the best way to go, because at first, when you're still like myself, I'm still grieving, through these relationships. Like, just yesterday, I was in tears again about one certain relationship, and and I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably going to be hurting for weeks still. I'm only probably halfway through this. Like, I'm probably still going to need to be, I'm going to still be grieving. It's still going to be hard. This isn't going to be over overnight, like, I'm hurting, because this hope and this expectation I had was completely demolished. And I'm also really embarrassed that I let myself get caught up in it, for so long, and that I built this habit to want this person in my life when ultimately they really weren't that great for me, on those deep levels that I really needed. And so, so I'm hurting still, but it's like, but to be to make sure that I don't end up in an emotionally immature relationship again, I've got to build my own internal emotional maturity more. And that is taking that relationship that I think about every day, and reminding myself every day before I allow myself to start. Like, I allow myself to grieve a little bit with it, but what I try to do is, as fast as I can, is remind myself the truth of the matter of that person. Of like, look, this is how this person is. This is what was about them that made things that was so not a fit for me in my life. And that's not something that I would want in my life. So continuing to keep this person in my life would not be helpful. Not to me, it wouldn't be helpful to them. You know, like the best thing for us is to move forward in our lives, and for me to continue to focus on, what do I want? What do I know I deserve? And how am I going to feel when I get that? And to really like feel that and really feel those feelings, you know, and to trust and continue to remind myself like on, on that spiritual level and such that, that I've got support and I've got my back covered, and that thank goodness I do have some wonderfully emotionally mature relationships that I'm going to just continue to work and have in my life, but also just keep pushing myself to get out there and keep meeting new people and such, and so anyway, yeah, so I hope this helps, because I think that, what I didn't want to do is come off as in like I'm blaming the other person for the relationship. It is a two-way street, and it is all about like continuing to grow as a person and go like, how can I ensure that I don't end up in an emotionally immature relationship in the future, again, that I know moving forward, I will take my time in the relationship, get to know them, and also see how I feel. Because I'll be honest, this, especially this last relationship that I let go of, it's been 6 weeks, since it basically ended for me. And I'm realizing like I'm still healing from it. Like there are things that I hid in myself or hid from myself in that relationship, and and it's all kind of come into the surface in such a healthy, healing way. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even realize how much it was affecting me, but now I do. And moving forward, I am meeting new people that are, I think, got the potential to be a part of my chosen family. And it feels really good. It feels really healthy. And so anyway, yeah. So give yourself grace if you are in your own emotionally immature relationships. We're in process, like seriously, like there's so much unconscious crap that we still have to work through in our lives because of just things that we adopted from our moms or families and such. That we're building up those muscles, emotional muscles in us, just like me building up my muscles in the gym. Like right now, I'm only doing like 15-pound weights and stuff like that, and it feels kind of puny, but I'm like, no, this is great though. I'm doing it. I'm exercising. I have to trust the process. I have to trust that I will strengthen myself. And so I think that's the thing with emotionally immature relationships is we go through them, we come out of them. But if we heal, if we let ourselves have time to heal, we recognize how we did things wrong and how we're going to get better. And that we just keep strengthening those muscles in us, knowing what we want in life, knowing what kind of people we want in our lives, knowing that, and continuing to learn to value ourselves and continuing to continue to build that belief and hope in us that we are going to do that, and appreciating how we have overcome or made changes or strengthen our relationships in ways that are great, in ways, and things like that. I do totally believe that we can trust that just like with our bodies will grow and strengthen, so will our ability to manage and develop and cultivate emotionally mature relationships. So anyway, there's my 2 cents on that today. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks.